Hi, this is a introduction to the Tinker's Cliff hike that we're going to be doing this weekend. What you see in front of you is an overview of the Andy Lane Trail shown in red, and how it interacts with the Appalachian Trail up near the top of the mountain and Tinker's Cliff. We'll begin our hike at the Andy Lane Trailhead Saturday morning just off of Route 779 and follow the red line on Andy Lane Trail through basically this is pasture land, a couple of bridge stream crossings, and then we'll begin our ascent up the mountain. And this is very relatively easy, moderate hiking along a trail that's well graded and fairly easy walking until right about in here. That corresponds to the map below, right in this general area right in here. By the way, speaking of it, this red line is basically showing the elevation gain for the hike from the Andy Lane Trailhead up the Andy Lane Trail to somewhere in here, the junction of the AT, to the top where Tinker's Cliff is. And then a return right back down the trail back down to the Andy Lane parking lot. This does not show the elevation change to the Lambert's camping area we're talking about. All told, we got a couple thousand feet, which is all in all not too bad. The only part of this hike that's fairly steep is this piece right here. And it's just a couple, 200-300 yards. So anyway, we'll get to the top of the mountain on Saturday, and then instead of going to the Tinker's Cliff, I think we should go down the AT about 7/10 of a mile thereabouts, past the AT shelter to the Lambert's Meadows tent camping area and set up camp. And after we do that, we can retrace our steps back up the AT without packs and ascend the Tinker's Cliff mountain area to Tinker's Cliff itself. And if the weather this weekend is like it was yesterday on Monday when Doris and I went up the mountain, I think a view from this area in sunset would be pretty impressive. We'll leave that area before dusk so we can get down off the mountain before it gets good and dark and get back to our camp and spend the night. And Sunday when we get up, break camp, we can come back up the AT, and if for those who'd like to, could drop their packs right at this junction and hike back up to Tinker's Cliff and see Tinker's Cliff from views in the morning. And then return back down to the Andy Lane Trail and come back down the mountain. And again, passing over this series of steps. And I actually found the descent yesterday was a little more tricky than the ascent. We were actually walking back down in a gentle rainstorm, and some of the rocks and things, steps were a little slippery, so we were careful. But anyway, get back to the Andy Lane Trailhead itself, and that's the end of our formal trip. For those who would like, they can join us by retracing our route back up 779 back into towards Daleville or just north of Roanoke on Route 220 and 81. And at that point, there's a diner called Angelini's that we stopped at in March that has some of the best hamburgers I've ever eaten. And for those that like to, we could go in there and have a lunch and then drive home. So that's pretty much the trip, and we'll see everybody on Saturday.
Parking lot. I think that's 779 right there. You come in the lower parking lot and we park up in here. You see my bomb sitting right there, and Doris and I are getting ready to head on up the mountain. So this will be where we meet Saturday morning. Here's the first bridge. Doris is going across it, and I show you the bridge, and you see the cows. So we'll just be mindful of the cows in its pasture, and it'll be okay. I'm going to try to walk across this bridge with the cows underneath us. And on the other side, yeah, right. On the other side, okay, on the other side, I'm going to show you where we're heading. All right, we're going up there. I think we're going to that notch, but I think we got to get up on top of that mountain, and then Tinker's is out of sight, but it's to the right up there. Again, in the first little ascent. So we're going, and your trail's pretty good. I'm showing you this to kind of give you a feel for portions of what the trail is going to be like. I'll show you the steep part when we get to it, and it's 200-300 yards of pretty steep incline. I'm out of breath a little bit, but it's not too bad.
So
I think what's in front of us is what we're calling the stairway to hell. We'll see. Somewhere in here soon, it's going to pick up, and it's almost seems like 500 steps. This may be it. We'll see what it feels like going up. Going down sucked. Yeah, this is a stair. This is it. I don't know whether you can see it up through there, but it goes up, and it's about 250, 300 yards. So anyway, that's what I've been talking to you guys about. You'll see it on Saturday. Well, you better come on up the hill here. We're about 3/4 of the way up. I'm not out of breath. I'm just breathing fast. Sorry, it's not too bad. I'm at the top, and yes, I am out of breath. But you can see the thing goes on down. But anyway, we've climbed more difficult slopes than this, and but it's kind of cool. As long as series of stair steps I think I've ever seen in my travels. But anyway, we're up to the top. You see it kind of levels on now, and then we're heading on up that direction. We're about 1.7 miles in to the 3 miles we have to go to meet the junction of the Appalachian Trail. We've just come up this direction towards me, up the Andeline Trail, and we're at the junction of the Appalachian Trail. Going up that way takes you up to Tinker's, up that direction. We're going to go down to the left along the Appalachian Trail to the shelter from the gap, which is called Scorched Earth Gap. We're going 6/10 of a mile that way, and we'll see where there's any water down there. Took us about 2.5 hours, 2 hours 45 minutes to get here. We've walked down from the shelter down a little path to the creek, and it is flowing. I think this weekend we'll have water up here. And there's a couple places where it's pooled, and I'm going to dig around with my shovel and pull a couple areas probably down there that it'll be easier for us to scoop water out, but with a filter I think we'll be okay. So let me pan around and let you see something of the campsites that are available for tenting. There's room over there for probably 4 or 5 tents over there, and same thing here. Now we may have company this weekend, so but there's space here, and we'll see. I don't know whether Doris and I will bother to hike on down a little bit distance to another area that's set up for tent camping, but here's what you got. So look, the water's here, which is thank goodness. This is, I think, called Lambert's Meadows tent area, and it's pretty nice. We may want to come down here versus the AT shelter. I'm gonna walk over and check out the creek and see how that looks. Here's a pool at the Meadows, and it doesn't look like it, but there's the same little flow that we saw up at the shelter. I'd say about 1 gallon a minute. So I mean, this water will be here. Obviously you have to use a filter, but this water will be here for us this weekend. And depending on who we find and crowds and such, this might be a good place for us to stay.